Hello and welcome back to Colonial Sports Center. With me in studio tonight is junior starting quarterback for the Colonials, Derik Abbott. Derik, thank you so much for joining me this evening.
No problem.
Now you finally have one game under your belt, the homecoming game. Talk a little bit about that, and especially for your first start of the season.
Well, obviously, it wasn't the outcome that we wanted. We've took away some positives, and there's also a lot of stuff that we could build on. Other than the fact that it was homecoming, obviously it was a game that we wanted to win, but every game now is a must win. So.
Now going into the game, you knew it was homecoming, which is probably one of the biggest games that probably during a season. Did that put any extra pressure for you?
No, not really. I mean, at the end of the day, the field is 100 yards long. Everything's still the same. You still got to go out there and play a football game. So it didn't really matter whether it was homecoming. It could have been the Super Bowl. It could have been a preseason game. It didn't really matter. So it's just a football game. So
it wasn't common knowledge that you were going to be starting. You actually only found out a few days ahead of time. What was it like whenever Coach Hicks sat you down and was like, hey, we're going to have you starting one of the biggest games yet this season?
Well, it was actually because, we had the bye week previous. So we kind of worked on some stuff with me. So I had an extra week to prepare, and that really helped, I think, and really adjusting to the guys and the first string guys, and getting familiar with Coach Hicks and how he likes to run things. So obviously it was exciting to get to be able to play.
Well, what was it like preparing with the first string people? I mean, it's probably not something that you were particularly used to playing with. What talk us through a little bit of that.
Well, I thought it was actually it wasn't a difficult transition at all. One, especially with the offensive line, seeing how as I live with all of them. So I'm pretty used to being around them, and I trust them because they know that if they don't block, then you're gonna hear about it later. But the receivers as well, just getting timing down, getting the mesh down with the running back. So like that extra week really helped. So.
Now, you said you lived with them. Is there anything that you guys take from maybe on the field that take it back to the room and kind of mess with each other about?
Oh, all the time. We mess with each other all the time. I mean, probably stuff that I can't even say on camera. But they're a great group of guys, and I absolutely love being around them.
Would you say that living together and living with them has really created a bond with that team, especially with you and the starters?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I trust them all because I know that they're gonna block for me. They're gonna protect me a little bit more. But yeah, like I said, those are a great group of guys, and I know they're always gonna have my back, even though I'm the smallest one in the apartment. So I kind of get bullied sometimes, but.
Now I know we talked about, you said you're the smallest in there, but you can easily eat just as much as they can.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that.
I always said that. Now they'll tell you that they won't, but I firmly believe that I can keep up with them eating, but which is, I don't know where it goes, but yeah.
Well, going back to the game, is there anything in particular that you really do before a game that really gets you in focus and prepares you for whether you're playing Monmouth or anybody else?
It's kind of funny because I actually do. One, I always talk to my dad before games, and we always just kind of bring everything down to earth. Obviously, I listen to the same music every game. And then I also call one of my coaches from high school. Now, obviously, he can't be there. So I give him a call, and, we always talk about the same things that we talked about in high school. So, he'll ask me, what did I eat for breakfast? What show did I watch in the morning? So we all kind of, we just talk about, the same things. And it's more stuff to just kind of calm me down, and it's something that I've always done. So.
Now, going into the next weekend, this is going to be your second game under your belt. Talk a little bit about that and your opponent that you're going to be playing.
Well, Sacred Heart's a great football team. We obviously know that they're the defending NEC champs, and they won that title last year on our home field. And I remember because I was up in the press box and I didn't even play. I was in a sling, and it hurt me just to watch that, and I wanted to be out there and play. So we know what's at stake, and we also know that we got to win out for the rest of the year in order to stay in this thing.
Well, last question. I know that you're a huge Batman fan, so I have to ask you this. If the bat signal went up right now at Joe Walton Stadium, would you show up in the bat suit?
Absolutely. There's no doubt.
Well, I hope to see you soon then.
Thank you very much.
And good luck this weekend. Coming up after the break, it's everyone's favorite time of the show, Primetime Plays of the Week. Stay tuned and don't change that remote, not dial.